Surprise! For those of you that have just seen the clan command cards, yes, I'm back like a really bad Australian boomerang. Doing something small because A, I've got the time, and I went and looked. Where's my little spreadsheet gone? Where's my spreadsheet? Here we go. Here it is. This says it all. In fact, can I? Let's do a bit of the old view and zoomy on this. Here we go. Clan had 2 missions. Generic had 5. Innosphere had 2. There were 13 generic commands. The clan had 5 command cards. The Innosphere got 24. Okay, my plan was to do those, but 24 cards is a lot longer than I've got time for. So I'm going to do this slightly out of sync, and I'm going to do the Innosphere mechs. And there are a stonking 5 of them. Why are there only 5? Because, here we go. If I change this to not saying mech, and use this to say unit, or actually I need this to say vehicle, don't I? VH. You can see that there are a load of them in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I know I did it the scientific way and calculated them all. So there are 25 there. So we'll just mark those for the future because I basically counted them. Saves me having to do them. We are not doing the vehicles now. No. We are not doing the vehicles. Mainly because we're going to do the Innosphere mechs. Because I've got a short amount of time. Okay. So, you can, and just to prove that literally I have just come out of the clan one, here they all are at the top here. So, there are 5, okay? And they are a mixed bag, but generally they are reasonably positive, okay? I've seen much worse units in some of the expansions. Okie dokie. So, we will start with the Bandersnatch, or if you're in the UK and you can rephrase that as the Bandy Snatch, then you will know that this is not a particularly nice phrase, and maybe that's because of the associated shoulder pads that this thing has. It looks like it shouldn't be a mech, it should be an aerofighter with wings like that, but hey ho. So the Bandy Snatch. It is a 5-cost slow Innosphere unit with 3 logistics and 2 M buyout. Nobody really cared at the time because everything had logistics or munitions buyouts because the whole expansion was generally full of vehicles left, right and centre. It has a 2 armour, 7 structure, so it's reasonably durable, 4 attack damage unit with 1 missile and +2 Alpha Strike. Exclusively custom built. No 2 Bandy Snatches are the same. The differences are minor at best. Yes, we can see that by the size of the shoulder pads. This is an 80s wannabe mech if ever there was one. Okie dokie. So, what's to like about this? Don't know. Shoulder pads maybe? Colour scheme, bit of a purplish. Right, it's a 274. Compare it to the Zeus. The Zeus is a 4-cost 273 overheat 1 or overheat 2, depending on which variation you get. So it can do 5. Okay, this is a 274 with the missile. It can do 1 more on average. It's a 27. It does 5. Okay. Where the Zeus wins out is it only has an assembly buyout, so it's an overheat, so you can put a redline pilot on it and all of a sudden it does 7 damage. Okay, you have to play L and M and T to put a sharpshooter on this to get it to do 7 damage, which is diluting your resource base quite drastically. So you know, and it costs one more for the privilege of that extra missile. Woo, scary damage. It's not great. It really isn't great. There are much better choices out there, which is why you don't see it. It's in a sphere only. You might decide you want to put it in an alpha deck, but it's not great. Okay. Right, on to something that's a little better. 3 2A buyout is what you have to pay for the Chameleon. It's a medium mech, which is good for Inner Sphere because they tend to have a lot of slows. It's a 1/6/3, so 3 cost, 3 damage, medium, reasonably durable at 1/6, and it has jump, which is quite nice because a lot of the Inner Sphere mechs have jump, and this has got risky food written all over it. The problem with this mech is it's competing with something like the Wolfhound, which is a 1/5/3, so 1 less structure, same amount of damage, but instead of jump it has overheat 2+1, so you can get 4 damage out of it, and it is a straight 3, not +2A. So the competition is a bit tough. Generally though, a 1/6/3 jumper, medium speed, is pretty reasonable. And you might decide that you want the durability. So let's face it, it's more durable than the Wolfhound over the additional damage. It's generic in a sphere; it would fit in any deck. And you know, it's only bettered by specific units for specific houses. For example, the Marek Firestarter, you would argue, is better than this, and it probably is. In fact, when you look at this, and we look at the Marek Firestarter, so I'll just get rid of all my wonderful keywords. Where are we? Here it is. It's a 1/6/3, overheat 3+1 attack, jump. 3/2A. 3/2A. How the hell this gets the same thing with an overheat 3+1? It just shows the power creep in Crusade. The only thing is it's restricted to Marek. Okay, so it just shows where it's coming from. Let me clear that out. So Chameleon, yeah, not bad. Not bad. If you drew it in draft, you'd be quite happy. If you're struggling for a medium unit that's not Davian and Steiner, or possibly the Marek Firestarter, you'd be quite happy. If you've got a bit of synergy with jump and the right missions going on, you'd be quite happy. It's never going to be the end all. It's never going to be the card that you put on the table that always wins you the game, but it's quite reasonable for what it is. It's not the end, you know, it's not a bad card. It's just not great. Okay. Next up, the Pillager. Why do I think this looks, when I see it, whenever I see the Pillager, I just get, come on, where are we? Here we are. I just get Alien, Ripley, Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, Prometheus, whatever they've put as a fancy word, title, subtitle after Alien, helmet looking on here. It does look like it, my eyes. This honking great 100 tons of 11 cost 4L 4M mech is in line with Daishi's at 4 armor and 11 structure. Not quite got the damage there at 8, but it's got jump and it's got long range too. Mainly because of the Gauss rifles, not the large lasers or PPCs or the other stuff. It's quite good. Getting it on the table isn't too bad. A little friend of mine, João Garcia, used to do that quite regularly. He would play the Pillager, and he would play the Thunderhawk, or he would play the Cerberus, etc., or the Gunslinger, and go for a deck that ran a lot of weenies to block, and then put these big honkers on the table. It's a little funny with the resources L and M. L and M work quite well with this unit because you could run things like spiders and saladins as a fast screen on a blocker while you build your resources up. L works with things like with assault mech specialists and advanced manufacturing techniques and stuff like that. Or you can go down the field construction route, scrap it, and double overtime and get this out really cheap, really early. It would be really nice if it had T instead of probably M, so that you could put a pilot on it that you really want, like a Bear of McKinsey Hammer, or run tactics or something like single combat. But generally, the fact that this beefy thing dishes out 8 damage, which kills a lot of clan units or a lot of inner sphere units. Most things don't take 8 damage, most things take 7. Then this is actually quite reasonable. You could stick this on the table and your opponent would have to sit up and take notice. Obviously, there are ways to get rid of it, but at 411, it's very durable. Doesn't have any particular weaknesses when it comes to options like big overheats, like the Kodiak where it overheats itself into the ground, or a Dasher Prime with Infernal Missile retrofit kills it and stuff like that. It's just solid and a pain in the ass to get rid of. And being on the receiving end of one of these isn't necessarily a pleasant experience. It's probably the best way to describe it. So yeah, this poor little elemental here is yeah, that kind of thing. Cool. Next up, the Spartan. And I don't think this unit got as much recognition as maybe it deserves. I'm not saying it should be front page news, and it's not, and it shouldn't. And when you look at it, it does look like a battle droid on legs, from probably Buck Rogers or something like that. However, the proof of the pudding here is it's 7 1A 1T. That's quite expensive. Okay, 7 costs 1A 1T. However, it's 3/8, which is reasonably durable. It's nowhere near as good as our previous Pillager, and it only does 4 damage. But this mech's redeeming feature is that it's moderate. Inner Sphere do not have anything really that's in this level of chunkiness that's moderate. I think it's the Shogun or the what's the Comstar one? I can never remember it. It's not the egg on legs kind of thing. There is one other that's in that kind of category. Maybe the Black Hawk Q from Crusade is up there with it for durability. Now I'm interested. Oh, what can't you remember, boy? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. We want Inner Sphere Max. We want practically anything that's there, and we want speed contains moderate. And let's look at the costs. Here it is. It's the Flashman. It's the Flashman. There we go. I knew there was something there. So there's your Flashman. 284 overheat 3+3 for a straight 8. Seems quite reasonable. It does look like an egg on legs. 7 damage, resource killer obviously. And then you look at the Spartan, which is 3/8. Flashman is 2/8, so you get 1 more point of armor, 1 more durability. But the damage out of the Spartan is a lot less. Okay. And then you're into other territory. I mean, the Falconer's pretty naff. The Rakshasa, the Black Hawk Q, 284 overheat 3+3. This is basically the same. Here we go. As the Flashman, 284 overheat 3+3 anti-missile, 284 overheat 3+3 jump AMT. So yeah, you can see that. And there isn't anything else. I mean, the Komodo's a 1/5. I mean, Komodo's probably the closest thing that Innisphere have to a Pouncer in that respect. The Dayqu's are 2/84s, again Alpha 1 long range. And then you've got 2/6, and you're into the 6s now with your anvils and stuff like that. The Charger at 3/6 is hard to kill, but 2 attack and a missile or 2 is just awful, especially when there's no munitions buyout. So you can see here that the Flash, I mean, the Hercules is quite reasonable at 2/84. It just hasn't got any options. It's a good little mech in draft, that. And the Thunder again. 2/9 and Modra is crazy, but 1A, 1M, 1L is just ridiculous to buyouts. I mean, if this mech just had a 5, 2 or 3A buyout on it, it would have been played 1,000 times more, because of that durability, a alpha and a sharpshooter on it. It'd be crazy. And your Grim Reapers. So what you can see here is that as we go down, here's a Huron Warriors at 1/7s and a bit of power creep and stuff. The thing with the Spartan is it's a brick. It's a wall. Yeah? It goes in an Innisphere deck when you're worried about big mech decks, because it's moderate. It blocks a crossbow. Okay, it probably just about scratches the paint job on the crossbow, and it takes a bit of damage for the privilege, but it survives. So this is a great medium blocker. If you look at the decks from 1999, Chris Lunt, who played a Star League pilot deck, had one of these in. Arguably, it's too expensive for most decks. If you look at Tom Smith's report where he had Ronda's Highlander in the deck, which cost 6, he never got it on the table. The games were too fast and it was too expensive. But where things are a little slower, this thing hangs around. It takes a beating. It doesn't dish out a great deal, but it hangs around, and it's a great blocker in that respect. It's expensive. I'm not saying it's the perfect god card. It's not. But it fills a role, and there aren't many mechs in a similar position. How many Flashmen have you seen in a game? Okay, you could say yes. How many Spartans have you seen? How many Falconers have you seen, etc., etc. So it fits a role. It's reasonable. What am I doing here? Oh, I screwed up my... Oh yeah, moderate speed. There we go. Understand as a Spartan. Yeah. So I'm quite decent in draft. It's got long range 1 as well. The PPC. I don't think you should discount it. I'm not saying you should throw it in the bin. I'm not saying you should put 6 in the deck. Certainly in draft, it's pretty decent, and worth being aware of. And finally, probably the best unit for Innisphere, although there's only 4 here. Unit, maybe mech. There's only 4 here. Love the picture. It really is steeped in levels of coolness, even if it is just the mech firing its jump jets to hop off. It has got that kind of Ant-Man, Yellow Jacket, big helmet, bug-eyed monster, Aquaman, Cyclopsy thing look about it. But I love the picture in the background. And arguably, they couldn't have designed this unit better without making the cost ridiculously cheap. So it was broken. So it's a 3 cost, 2A, 2T, Inner Sphere fast mech. It has no armor, it has 6 structure, it has 2 damage. Okay, it doesn't sound very impressive, does it? When you look at units that are a speed slower, like Modra, and then you look at the Centurion, look at our friend the Chameleon, which we've just seen, it doesn't quite seem to fit very well. It's not quite as durable. However, it does have jump, and it has ECM. Now, ECM basically makes this a 162, but the benefit here is that ECM makes all other units in that group have +1 armor. And what do you want more than +1 armor on your mech? It's +1 armor on all your mechs. So ECM is, in this case, much more powerful than just having the armor. The 2 is quite nice because it blocks dashes and survives, and it's a great patroller in that respect. It's you can hit your opponent for 2 on the stockpile if it's got no blockers. It's durable, it jumps, it works with some of the units that are really good. It's a fast screen, it's a durable fast screen, and it adds durability to your units with the ECM. This went in after the vehicle stuff and everything calmed down. This went into a lot of let me restart. This went into a lot of Inner Sphere decks because of that. Inner Sphere struggled for fast units. This was arguably the salvation. This can survive a number of attacks, potentially, depending on what's coming across the table. For example, if you've got 6 damage, you're not going to kill it. That ECM works well. It needs 7 to kill. And that's the big point with Inner Sphere swarms. 1/6 somethings and then a number of options. They are hard to kill. And this, A, is in that bracket. And B, gives everything 1 other armor. So it's a 2/6 something, which is even worse. So clan players really got a bit of a thumping when this came out. It wasn't unpopular to see 4 in a deck of Inner Sphere, or even 6, depending on what was going on. And it fits that swarm bracket being a 3 cost. Okay, maybe it's a little expensive for swarms, but anything between 1 and 3 and maybe 4 is really good. And it pairs well with, because it's generic Inner Sphere, any house, but also where you've got a reasonable presence of fast units. For example, if you've got the Wraith, the Laumaric 173 jumper, and you've got this, that makes that Wraith a real pain in the arse to kill. It's a 273. Put a Chaos March Veteran on it. It's a 276 if it's in a group with this Spectre. And 8 damage out of fast units is very hard to get hold of. You need a mission, you need a trick, you need something to get rid of it. So this mech had quite an impact on some of the meta dynamics in that respect. It really did bolster Inner Sphere. And the other thing is, it's fast. So you put your pilot on there knowing that you cannot be attacked. Okay, there are 1 or 2 cards that do it. Vlad, single combat and stuff like that. But if your pilot is on a fast mech, it is not going to get attacked. You choose when you engage with that unit. You choose when you put that at risk. You choose if you want that to be in combat or not. Okay, you might have a thing where you take damage or you trade a mech, whatever else. Point is, it's your choice. Okay, whereas if it's a moderate, then you might have a choice because your opponent's wearing fasts and he's just straight on it. There's nothing you can do about it. So at least in that respect, you have the choice whether you're attacked or not. And this is where this mech comes in really handy for in this case your pilot decks. Pop a pilot on this, pop Victor on this. Everything gets +1 attack. It gets +1 armor. And this gets, what do we got here with Victor? +3. Prince Vic, that is. +3 on that as well. Pop Kai on this. It gets +4 attack and it carpet bombs everything for 2. And you win initiative. So you're a 1/6/6 carpet bomb. Which is just ridiculous. So yeah, this unit got instant popularity, went into a number of decks very quickly. A and T, okay, they're a little high. Personally, I think they probably the buyout should be a bit higher when you compare it to some of the clan units, in order to kind of keep a reasonable balance. If this was 3A, 3T, I don't think anybody would complain until they haven't got tactics on the table. But, you know, it's where it is. It's very good, it's very popular, it's very useful. And as I said, it went into a load of decks. Not the ones with vehicles, I would point out, though. But that's another day, that's another dollar. What am I doing here? I've got to earn that one. Cool art as well, though. Okay, so there we have it. 5 Inner Sphere mechs. The whole Arsenal expansion done in one. Yeah, crazy. There they are. Okay, right. When I get a bit more time, I'm going to come back. I am going to do Inner Sphere commands at some point. I'm going to do vehicles at some point. I think there are 2 battle armor there. There are 4 battle armor there. Oops, 24, 4. There are no generic vehicles, no generic mechs, and no generic battle armor. So the table is starting to get populated. I need to change the formatting on that, doing that and that. I might do battle armor together, given that there's only 6 cards. That would make sense. Actually, while we're here, how many clan... Let's just change this. How many clan mechs are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 20. So there are 20 there. There are no clan vehicles. Oops. Let's put that on there. And we'll copy this across. I'm gonna total equals the sum. There should be 108 of these, and there's 107. So I've miscounted somewhere. Maybe there's another unit or whatever else, or there's something else in there. I'll tidy that up and sort that out. But there we go. And make sure we've got everything tidied up. Let's put that in the middle. Cool. All right. So I've got a bit of work to do. Yeah, I know I've dragged this out, and I'm probably got 75, 80 cards to do out of the expansion. I'm not sure which one I'll do. This will be a big stream. This will be a big stream. This will be a big stream. If I'm going to do 3 minutes on each or 2 minutes on each, that could easily be an hour or 2. So I'll probably get the battle armors out of the way quickly and then go on and look at this distribution here. But what I would say here is actually let's just do this. Let's delete those. Let's just add these up. So let's just do the maths the other way. Will that work with the format painter? Yes, it will. So, generic 18, 31 clan cards, 58 Inner Sphere cards. So Arsenal really did swing things. The Inner Sphere literally got twice as many cards as clan. Maybe we should do this as percentages. This is going to be about 15, 50. Yeah, I'll sort that out when I get a few minutes. Do a bit of maths on that, tidy that up, so you can see what the distribution is on that. But you generally get the feeling that clan got the wrong end of the stick, the one that's used to poke the brown stuff, whereas Inner Sphere got all the nice stakes on the end of the fork, so to speak. Anyway, I shall tidy that up. I shall be back at another point. I shall be doing another one. We shall go from there. And in the meantime, I will wish you a good day, good evening, good night, whatever it is, wherever you are. And tell you to stay safe out there because it's a big, bad world. And I'll see you soon.